Hi, Kristina here with Broken Skulls Productions and Mouth for Music magazine. I'm here with Jason DeVore, Authority Zero, at the Vinyl Music Hall, Pensacola, Florida. So, Jason,
yes,
you don't look like you just got off stage.
I do definitely look like I just got off stage. I probably sound like I just got off stage more than anything.
That's true. You kind of got the little, like, I heard you almost kind of killed your voice on the way here.
Yeah, we've been on tour for 3 months now. We've been on, we did 2 weeks in the States, in the South, and then did 2 weeks in Australia, then headed right out to hit the road with the Ataris to do a full U.S. tour, and that's kind of what brought us here to Pensacola as we're heading back home. We have about 3 shows left, and then we get a little bit of a break before we head to Canada. So I think it's time for a little bit of a week off. We're going to take a little break and get home and see some family and just take a breather. But it's been great. It's been a killer few months.
I was definitely going to ask if you were going cross-country, but you said Australia first, right?
We did Guttermouth. We went with Guttermouth just along the south through Texas, and a little bit Oklahoma, and then cruised back to Los Angeles, and then hopped a plane pretty much right the day that tour ended, and flew to Australia for Soundwave Festival. And we did Soundwave Festival out there for 2 weeks, and then flew directly back to Los Angeles, and then joined the Ataris the day after that. So it's been pretty nonstop.
That's insane. I haven't seen the Ataris, but I've listened to them for years. How are they to play with?
Good, and we were old friends with those guys. Like, a lot of them we know from our drummer Sean has been, he's also in Good Riddance. He's played with them throughout the years, in the past. And then some of the other members of the band we've played with in a band called Versus the World. I think you're going to talk to Donna later. He's the frontman for that band, and then some of the guys that were in the Lagwagon and the Ataris are in Versus the World as well. So we toured with them overseas in Europe as well as back in the States a bit. So everybody kind of just knew each other, and it was like a big family party kind of thing, A lot of new cool bands too, like Gasoline, Heart. They jumped on it, got to make some new friends as well, and we all had a good time. It went really fast because it was such a good vibe, and everybody's getting along really well.
It's always fun when you're around people you're comfortable with. It makes the whole situation a little easier.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it'll make or break a tour. A lot of times, that's half the time you're worried about, you got to deal with someone's bad attitude or something. You just kind of know how that person is, and you never know what you're gonna get. You really don't when you're meeting up with new bands or whatever. You're always hoping that they're gonna be pretty down to earth dudes because we're all pretty laid back and just like to have a good time, and we're out here for for the fun of it and to enjoy ourselves. So you always hope you're getting some guys that are also in bands that are wanting to do the same thing and just easy to get along with.
Have you ever come across a band on tour that you've never heard before and you just instantly fell in love with?
I'm not being weird about it or lying through this, but I mean, Gasoline Heart, honestly, I'd never heard of them before, and that was one band that I was really impressed by because the singer, like when I first met him upstairs, is very kind of like laid back and just kind of cool and soft spoken, and then hits the stage and he just like goes for it and just rails out. It's just gnarly. It was really, really cool and really, really good music, just all around, just like straight rock, just really intense rock music, and I really enjoyed that. So you find a lot on the road, you really do, because you travel with so many bands and you go on so many different abstract tours with different genres that you're always finding something new out there. So there's definitely a list of bands that I can't think of all of them right now, but that one stands out from the past tour.
That's pretty cool. How often did you play with them on the tour?
They jumped on halfway through because Versus the World was on the first half. So Donna was pulling like triple duty. He was, at first like, well, yeah, triple duty because he was getting on stage with us for our closing song as well. So he was up there pretty much the entire night.
Yeah, he said he was playing for the Ataris at the first of it too.
Yeah. I mean, he was doing that, I think, the entire tour. So he was doing when Versus the World was on the first half. They ended up stopping halfway through. Then Gasoline Heart jumped on, and they went till the end of until New York City, and then Donald carried on doing acoustic, but also playing with the Ataris. So he was just rocking all night. So he was getting his time in. It was good.
He seems like he has a lot of energy, like just a completely bundled up bag of sparks.
Giant Bollinger. He's been in the band with us since New York City. We've all been hanging out, and he's been like a sixth member, So he's a good dude. He's a really great dude. Very good personality. He's a very cool cat, and just a lot of fun to be around. And just like you say, a good person to be around and have fun with. So he enjoys it.
For Tipping Point, was it any different writing it than like Stories of Survival?
Yeah. Stories of Survival was, I've said this before in interviews that it was a little more like I was doing a little bit more of the writing. I feel like I think at the time, and it wasn't because I wanted to. It was just like things were kind of scattered here and there, with everyone where their head was at with everything, and so it was it was it was a lot of collaboration. Still once the songs got kind of put together and like working out the details on them and stuff like that. And obviously Ryan Green, he had a big role in helping us finalize a lot of these songs and Stories of Survival to make them take the ideas that we were thinking we were coming up with, make it make sense and make them work. And then with Tipping Point, Brandon and Sean and myself, we really had a lot of collective efforts and like a lot of just different ideas and different riffs and different styles that came into play with it that they really brought to the table, and it just opened up a lot of different doors, I think, and made me think a lot, with the way that they write as opposed to the way I've been used to writing in many ways, and also them too with myself. It was a matter of like conditioning on both ends to like complement each other rather than make it sound forced or weird.
That definitely puts a different spin on it. You can tell, like, in between the two albums even, there's a big difference, but it's not a negative. It's almost like you've grown together like a web.
Yeah, it was just a very focused effort. Again, the Tipping Point, Stories of Survival was like a regeneration of, hard times we've kind of been through, whatever, with writing or whatever it may be. So, and again, with the Tipping Point, I think you can definitely hear the focused effort of, a good portion of musicians that are actually working really hard together and not against each other, and really just doing what we could as best we could to make it a community project rather than just like every man for himself kind of thing. You can really, I can feel it at least, with the recording process and everything, that it was really a collective, just collective effort. It felt really good.
Have you ever had a fan that just kind of showed up at a show you've been really impressed by, like the lady out there with the 1 more minute, let's go?
Yeah, there's always somebody. Honestly, there's no one that stands out too awful much. But you always get just, to me, our fans are the greatest, and that's a big part of why this music's still around and the band's still playing. Because I think they really do care about the words, the music, and they've been there for quite some time, and they're really excited about it. Met a guy in the UK, one stands out, has a huge tattoo of me on his leg, which was trippy at first, but I'll compliment it, to me. I think it's kind of cool that he went to that extreme with it, and I appreciate it. And you get a lot of cool people that just are really just, all about the band and the music in general. So, that's important.
I have to admit, I'm kind of one of those people, so, have you come across any particular like food places? I know a lot of you guys have a tendency to grab junk food on the way. Like Howie Spence was telling me that, I can't remember what it was like a taco town or something. He was kind of fun of it.
Yeah, I always try to eat as good as I can out here, because you got to take care of yourself, because you're also just beating the shit out of yourself at the same time. Like more than any average human being, I think, really should be able to survive. So I always try, and I personally, and the guys in the group too, always try and like find the better spots to eat to kind of counterbalance everything. And if anything else, stay healthy, because you want to be, you want to have that energy for the shows. You want to make sure that you're giving everybody the show they deserve when they come out to the shows. So as far as a spot that stands out, nothing again particular, but we always, Donald, because we've been hanging out a lot this last tour. He's a big Yelper. He'll hit the Yelp and like try and find like good spots that are, he's actually started a little food program with touring bands. So like if you find a rad spot, mention it, name it, talk about it. That way touring bands can also stop there. It's like the whole like the Food Network dude or whatever,
right? Something
like that, but just in a touring fashion to give bands ideas of where to go that's rad. That's not just your shitty fast food or your typical spot that you might just see off the side of the road. So it gives them a little something to like look for and dig deeper into.
That works, though. That means it's not just like, hey, check this out. Oh, it's a crappy place. But, I actually had the Yelp thing on my phone for years, but I never knew what it was. I'm one of those people that has random apps, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he uses it pretty fully. Like I don't know how to use it really that well myself either, but he's got me intrigued, and I want to give it a run because we found some pretty rad spots. Yeah, there's a bunch of barbecue pits today, like different barbecue spots we stopped at, and he's like, "Yep, that was the one." Yelp said 4.5 stars. They fucking nailed it. So.
Do you have any particular singles coming out from Tipping Point or like a video release?
We do. We have the Lift One Up, which we've had some editing issues with that one as of late. It was supposed to already kind of be out, but we are in re-editing for that one. We did a lot of shooting and did the actual show for it, for the video shoot. We're just trying to get that all compiled and get it all sorted the rest of the way and get some stuff put together for that. But also, I have a buddy named Jason Pissarro who's working on one for Struggle for us for a summer release out of New York City.
I love that song.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Yeah, it should be pretty cool. We have a pretty cool concept behind it. You know, both of them actually have really cool concepts. It's just they're very different concepts, and it's just a matter of getting them edited properly, I think. You know, so I think look forward for those. Probably more so the beginning of summer for both of them, I'm guessing.
Okay, cool. You said you have 3 more shows on this tour, right? Where are you headed after that? I know you said like a 2-week break. Do you have more shows planned?
I've got gigs when I get back home. I'll be doing some gigs. You know, I do acoustic stuff back home around Arizona when I'm back. But other than that, it's going to be basically these 3 shows, go back home for a couple of weeks, just kind of wind down, really try and just enjoy, you know, being home and rejuvenating and getting ready to go out on the road again to go to Canada. We're doing a Canadian tour with Torches to Triggers, which is a band from Canada that pretty much put the whole tour together because it's their CD release party for that whole tour. So it's going to be fun. We play with them quite a couple times, actually, so it'll be cool getting out there. And it's kind of short. It's like 3.5 weeks. So we're going to cruise across and then jump back down, you know, hit some spots we didn't hit with the Ataris, like Denver and Albuquerque again. And then we're going to close it out, which is a really big deal. Close it out back in Phoenix, in our hometown, in Mesa, actually, at a venue called Club Red. They're actually one of those venues we played at quite often. A really cool venue back in Arizona that's now expanding to a bigger size room and a bigger venue, and we're going to play the grand opening for that. So that's going to be our last show on that tour. And then after that, we have the summer off, basically, until August when we go to Europe again.
Is there anywhere in the world you haven't played that you want to play?
Yeah, we've been dying to get to Brazil. We actually were scheduled to go to Brazil, and then things fell through with promotions and the promoter, I guess. And, you know, kids are even hitting us up about it, saying, like, you know, we love that you're coming here, but we're not fond of what's going on with this promotion. So we might not show up, and we're like, oh, okay. So things, in the end, they ended up getting canceled on their end. And we're hoping that things will come through because I've heard Brazil is beautiful. You know, I've never been before, but Australia was one of my big ones. We got to finally go there this past time. So.
Well, cool. I think I'm gonna let you go and rest your voice. So, all right, Kristina here with Broken Skulls Productions and Mouth for Music. Aw. Jason DeVore here from Authority Zero. All right. Have a good night, guys. Keep rocking.